there's a little book, and it's called The Song of Songs. It's actually a love song, and two people are singing it, and at the heart of it are these words: "Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me." Sing it once and then join. Rise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. And again, arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come. One more time. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. For now the winter is past, and the rain is over and gone. When flowers appear in the meadow, I behold the one whom I love. I behold the one whom I love. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. More lovely than the moon, more radiant than the sun, and fairer than the rose, is the love of the one whom I love. Is the love of the one whom I love. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. For the time of singing has come, and the time of dancing has come. For the time of loving has come to us all. I will go to the one whom I love. I will go to the one whom I love. I will go to the one whom I love. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. Arise, my love, my dove, my beautiful one, arise and come with me. girls just want to have fun. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Who is the artist?
Cindy Lauper.
Cindy Lauper. She went on to act in some, at least television shows that I'm aware of. Bones, I think there was one. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong show. Anyway, Cindy Lauper. It was a great song. It got me moving. I'm driving my car down the road. Everybody just wants to be loved. Would you agree with that?
Core maybe, but not always in person.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Just for the sake of conversation, let's assume that everybody wants to be loved. Okay. Whatever that means to you. Sometimes it's not so clear what people want, what I want. There's a few moments when Jesus approached an individual and said, "What do you want?" And it seems like it would be obvious. You know, like for example, the fellow who was lying by the side of the pool, where people would rush into the pool whenever it was disturbed because they believed that they could be healed by entering into that pool of water. And Jesus approached this guy who was lying there, couldn't walk. And he said, "Do you want to get healed?" I mean, come on. Of course he wants to get healed. You know, he's been sitting there, lying there apparently for years. And then, of course, the famous resurrection story, when he approaches Mary of Magdalene and says, "Who are you looking for? What do you want?" Right? It's obvious, isn't it? Isn't it? Or is it? But for the sake of our conversation, let's assume that people want to be loved. What's that?
Humidifier.
Oh, thank you. Will it stop?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Sorry. The ears. What I'd like to do tonight is just go through, CJ and I were talking before dinner a little bit about sweeping through the Enneagram. And I'd like to do it very briefly tonight and just see what comes up for you. Just assume, if we can, that everybody wants to be loved, including me, including you. And then as we go through the Enneagram, we're going to see different ways that people attempt to be loved. There's no judgment here. It's just these are different ways that people seek to be loved. When I was 7 years old, I put on a green top hat, a green jacket with tails, green pants, and a baton. The nuns actually put it on me, believe it or not. They made me McNamara in McNamara's band. Right? Come to think of it, that was a pretty good thing to do. I didn't want necessarily to be McNamara, but they apparently spotted something in me that wanted to do this. And that's what I've been doing most of my life. So thank you, Sister Mary. Karen, I think her name was. She was so nice. So, to be loved. How do we seek to be loved? And as we go through these, it's just to remind us, these are the ways that when we're insecure, we seek to be loved. Insecure. And the Enneagram has different categories of insecureness, different characters, by the way. That's one reason I like it, because it's a cast of characters. And they're all in me, they're all in you. Just the question is, which one is center stage? Right? That's the question. So here we go. In an Enneagram type 1, called the reformer. The reformer needs to be right. The reformer needs to be good, to perceive themselves as good. And then secondarily, you will perceive them as good, as right. And guess what? You will love them. So if I'm good, if I'm right, others will love me. If I'm bad and wrong, you won't love me. Interesting. That's the one. Enneagram type number 2 is called the helper. They're very good at spotting what someone needs, and then helping them. If they help that other person enough, and there's the catch, because it's never enough, then they will be loved. So if I'm a 2, I'm going to try to help you, Chad. And if I help you enough, then you'll love me. That's a 2. Enneagram number 3 is called the achiever. The achiever needs to achieve, needs to be successful, needs to make a presentation in which everybody goes, okay. If they can do that, guess what? They feel loved. That's how a 3, in their insecure state, acquires love. The mistake of the 3 is that they identify what they do with who they are. The performance with the person. Enneagram number 4. The individualist, the romantic, the poet, the musician, the artist. Enneagram number 4 also needs to be loved and has found a way to do it by being special. If you don't think of them as special, and if they don't think of themselves as special, what's the love? We're just like everyone else. And now you know that I thought I was a 4 for most of my life. And now I'm thinking, maybe I've just been visiting the unhealthy part of the 4, because that's where 1s go to. But that's another story. So, all clear on the 4? How do they get loved? Right. They convince themselves and others that they are special. That can take many forms. It can be the victim. It can be the one who is able to do something incredible, creative, whatever it takes to convince you that they're special. Enneagram number 5, Sherlock Holmes was a 5. He was the one who gathered the data, who stood at a distance and observed what was happening and drew conclusions. Wasn't Sherlock Holmes' famous thing that he deduced? He made deductions. Right? Okay. One thing Sherlock Holmes didn't do was get emotionally involved. That was not possible. Although in the films, it's a lovely, what's that, Benjamin Cumberbatch who plays Sherlock Holmes? He does get involved, and it's a wonderful story, wonderful episode. But a 5 typically needs to gather infinite amounts of data, information, before they can act. And the problem is they hardly ever act. They're always together. Why? Because they feel loved. If they can convince you that they are really, really good at this, and they have so much data and information, they're the smart ones. Then they feel loved. 6s. 6s are interesting. 6s are the loyalists. If you have a friend who is a 6, you have a friend for life. They will stick with you through it all. And that's how a 6 acquires love, by being loyal to you. If they can convince you and themselves that they will stick through everything with you, then they feel loved. And it's really all about feelings. They feel loved. They believe they are loved, therefore. If they can connect in loyalty to another, sometimes not necessarily an other, but something, like a cause. They can be loyal to that cause, to death. Then they can live with themselves in their insecure state. 7. Peter Pan, the eternal youth. The 7's great gift is joy. When a 7 enters the room, you feel it. It's light. It's joyful. It's playful. We had a young fellow here. Well, he comes here occasionally. His name is Connor, or Lucky. There's a clue. Yeah. And only a 7 would be called Lucky. He chose that name for himself. He's this brilliant young fellow who he and I have a lot of fun together. And he's a 7. I have no doubt in my mind. Right?
Todd. Definitely. I would think he was.
Maybe.
Definitely.
But you've heard this phrase, your gift is your curse. Well, your strength is your weakness. It's very clear in the 7 how that works. The 7's great gift is joy, pleasure, the light of the room. The 7 cannot tolerate discomfort, pain. Just cannot. They will do anything to remove themselves from that. That's a problem. Because, as we all know, and our Buddhist friends remind us, life is dukkha, suffering. So they're avoiding life, just like every other Enneatype, but they do it in different ways. 7 will flip from here to there, to there, to here, to experience pleasure and share joy. And that's a good thing. See how complicated this can be. The 8s are a force of nature. Oh, by the way, was it clear on what the 7 does in order to be loved?
Joy and laughter?
Yeah, it makes you laugh. Brings joy to you. That's a great gift for 7. And they feel loved. They feel appreciated. And they are.
Comedians?
Comedians could be. It could be, or it could be a mask. You know, I mean, some of the greatest comedians that I can think of, starting with Charlie Chaplin, were deeply unhappy people. You know? And so it was a mask for them, but it was a good mask. So yeah, but that's a good question, isn't it, to understand that. It could be a 7. Robin Williams, another example, could be a 7. But so often, and this might be true for some 7s, is that the great suffering and pain that they experience in their life is transformed, is channeled into joy, laughter. And that's a good thing. And a 7 will feel loved if they can make you laugh. They can bring joy. That's their gift. But if for some reason that doesn't happen, that's the problem. Because then their love is dependent upon your response. And that's true for every Enneagram, okay, in their insecurity. All right, so now we're to the 8s. The 8s are the bulls. Strong like a bull. It's okay, as long as there's nobody else in the room. But when there are other people around, watch out for an 8, because they will charge right through whatever issue you're talking about with not a whole lot of awareness and sensitivity in their insecurity. If they're a healthy 8, that's the person you want to get the job done. Right? They will do it. Like a 3 will get the job done. The 8 will be a little more forceful. Okay. But the job will get done with an 8. And that's the problem. Because the 8's belief, feeling, is that you will love me as an 8 if I get this done, if I make it happen. Right? To demonstrate that kind of strength, then I get love. If I don't, I'm not so lovable. You see where it's all dependent, and that's why it's insecure. So finally, we come to the peacemaker, number 9. The peacemaker's great gift is peace, and that's the problem. You will love me if I can maintain peace. You will love me if I can teach you how to be peaceful. But if there's conflict, and it's not resolved within a reasonable amount of time, then I start to lose my lovability. The problem also with the 9 is that they have trouble choosing. They can see so many different perspectives, and they're so nice. Typically, the 9s are the nicest in the entire Enneagram, typically. They really are just going with it, and everybody likes them. And that's the problem. They know that. And if they were to depart from that path, they feel they wouldn't be loved. They'd be rejected. That's the 9. So that's a very quick, swift flow of the Enneagram in terms of perceiving love. How, assuming that everybody wants to be loved, this is how the different personalities, and their personalities, but not core, they're personalities. Important as they are, they're still personalities. So in terms of the depths of the human being and the soul, they're kind of above the core, above the depths, but they're still important because, and this is a psychological fact, we're not aware of them most of the time. And we're not aware of most of it most of the time. So we're, again, as Brother Tim points out on Saturdays, we're playing out our programs. So how do we receive love? How do we get loved? The different types, the different personalities that we are, do it in different ways. The common thread throughout is that every single one sincerely wants to be loved and struggles in that regard. Really struggles to be loved. I mean, I've seen it here, in 5 years I've been here. Basically, every single person that comes here, including the ones that are already here, are saying, please love me. For it to be really vulnerable. At least be nice to me. If you can't love me, just tolerate me. But underneath it all, I believe we're all saying to each other, I'd really like to be loved. Before I go to bed tonight, I'd like to be loved. Pretty simple. I can go to bed tonight, they love me. Or at least some of them do. So that's the Enneagram in its very simple, sweet. Any questions, thoughts?
think I know what you label me as.
Do you now?
Yes.
Do you?
I think so.
You care to make a bold statement?
Yes.
All right.
Only because you didn't make eye contact with me when you were
Oh, you're so good.
a 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, you got my number. Yeah, I got your number.
Very receptive.
Yeah. I can link it back to my childhood and how that began too.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I see you as shining when you're doing what you do, especially in a public sense. I mean, all it took was, what was his name, the guy that we lost? James, right? James, the public person from Louisa,
Part.
the park,
Oh,
recreation
yeah,
park.
okay.
Yeah, he shows up and Anna goes into the mode of presentation.
Mhm.
And the whole space, and the space was the whole world outside,
Yeah.
lights up. And James goes, wow, I'll follow you anywhere. And that's the gift of the three. You know, it's a great gift. So, but I could be wrong. This
Yeah.
is my perception.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
I just found that curious.
Hmm.
I'm aware of the part of me that wants to be loved, the sad me that feels like I need to be loved.
Right.
That's changed so much since I've come here. All my life, from high school on, I had a girlfriend or partner, almost continually. And when I first got here, I was still holding the option that could happen. And that's gone now. It's just the love I feel here, this place, from every individual and collectively, seems to have changed the way that gets fulfilled now. So now if I'm feeling sad, I can just think of this place and all you guys, and a lot less work than a partner too. That's a trade-off. Curious, it could change.
Some things change.
Curious what Brother Tim finds his number as, or what you view him. Or maybe this is a
We're
different
working on
session.
that.
We're working on it. Yeah. And that's the fun part of the Enneagram.
Yeah.
Because after you get to know persons for a while, I put a post up on Facebook, I think I shared with you guys, that I'm really more and more enjoying, it sounds crazy, more and more I'm enjoying being here. Somebody put on the Facebook thing, I hope you are. The more you spend time together in community, if it's fundamentally healthy, you see each other emerging, put it that way. It's like, I never realized that. That, let me put it in another way, you begin to understand each other more. I think of it as like emerging out of something that I couldn't identify. But the more that I spend time here with people, the more I see them emerging. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not seeing them accurately. But the other side of it is, I think they also see me emerging. And to make it even more weird, I see myself emerging. God help us.
Busy.
Yeah. But the Enneagram is helpful in that way, because it's not a static category. It's a dynamic relationship play. It's like almost like if I could play tennis, it's not a very good tennis imitation, just or like ping pong, right? But you got the idea. The ball is bouncing back and forth, and you never know exactly where it's going to go. It could go to the corner, right? It could go right straight at me, it could go slam dunk right in front of me, come up, hit my nose. I don't know, but it's dynamic. That's the point. And the energies of people are always dynamic, even if they're suppressed. And eventually you can see that. And that's one of the gifts of the Enneagram, is that it helps. Not the only way to help, but it does help. it helps you see the energies of people. And I don't want to get too woo-woo here, but another word for energies is spirit. You begin to see into the soul of a person. It's like, oh my God, I think it's time for me to go home now. That's pretty scary. But it's also very real, isn't it? I would dare say that, and I often say this, so forgive me, if we could go back in time, like the thing that we were talking about at dinner, right? Just new paradigm. We shift time and we go back, way back, when we all sat around the fire in the village at night, right? And the sound of animals in the forest. And we're telling stories. You cannot tell me that people didn't see into each other's souls in those moments. There's no way they could not do it. Because they got to know each other every day of their life, from the time they were this big, right? Looking into the eyes of each person, seeing, hearing, everything about that person that could possibly be known in a lifetime. And then they saw them, and they saw them emerging. Whether it was young people emerging or old people emerging, because everybody's still emerging until you're dead. And even then, I think you're still emerging. But it's a beautiful thing. The conversation I had today with the director of Springhouse, we were talking about this because she has a school, and I said to her, after a lifetime of being in academia, I'm realizing more and more that the real education happens outside of academia. I love academia, don't get me wrong, because it's just fun. But the in-depth education, talking human education, I believe, happens mostly in everyday life, in relationship, with other people. As you see into their life, they see into yours. And we speak from that depth. That's the kind of school that she's wanting to have. They don't live together. They show up in a particular place. We do live together. So my theory is we have the potential here to create something that is deeply beautiful and educational in the best sense of that word. Human learning in a human way. So anyway, got off on that. Any other thoughts or questions? Yeah.
Kind of tiny tangent, but not really.
You say ketchup?
Tiny tangent, sorry. But not really. In one of our evening prayers, you said something about school doesn't teach love. Yeah, and I think earlier when we were talking at dinner, about what we could teach, I think love, that was really the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to sound cheesy.
No, that's a good cheese.
And it's delicious.
It's like the best brie in town. No, that's exactly right. It's a school of love.
Yeah, I think that should be what should be advertised as. Is we teach with love. We teach, whatever we teach, whatever you teach, whatever. But love, so it should be rooted in.
Yeah, spot on, brother.
However, the Scandinavian countries, they teach empathy as a particular point, starting in elementary school.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know what that word meant in elementary school.
Yeah. But they, the children are taught to sit in a group and how to be empathetic from day one.
Wow.
Yeah. I will be curious to see long term there.
Mm-hmm. You should put Denzel in charge of that.
Yeah, really.
No, that's the point. Yeah. Specific courses, empathy would be one.
hopefully isn't it thinking we never had a chance to learn about love and empathy in our early stages, especially in public school. And how would our lives be now if we did get those teachings?
Yeah, it is bittersweet.
At the same time, though, if any of our lives had happened any differently, none of us would be in this exact position right now. I'm grateful to be here. And I think we all have found empathy, and I hope maybe. I do think it is, for future generations. The earlier you can teach it, the better.
Any other thoughts? Okay, so we'll close with the song. Thank you. Almost. We're really talking about how to live. So we'll just do this first verse tonight as a closing chant. I'll sing it once, and then we could all sing it together, maybe 3 or 4 times. How shall we live, knowing what we know, seeing what we've seen together? How shall we live, knowing what we know, seeing what we've seen together? How shall we live, knowing what we know, seeing what we've seen? One more time. How shall we live, knowing what we know, seeing what we've seen? Close of this day, a question, a wonder. How shall we live?